Hey, you ever been to Chancellor Park? That's where I live. My name is Tavin Dillard. I live in Chancellor Park. I mow lawns, mowing, edging, grass cutting legend. I sure am glad to join me here on this podcast. I want to let you know what's going on in my neck of the woods. Now, I started out years ago on the YouTubes and then the TikToks and the Instagrams now and the whatnots. I got the websites, the tavindillard.com, but right now, I want to clue you into what's happening in my neck of the woods on the Tavin Dillard podcast. You here? I'm here. I'm glad you joined me. Now I'm going to send it over to myself. This is like the pre-introduction, but let's get on to the real show today. I'm glad you joined me here. Bank, bank. Hey, y'all guys. Welcome to the Tavin Dillard podcast. It's a new week. It's a Tuesdays. Well, I'll tell you like this away. The podcast comes out on the Tuesdays. I don't know when you're listening to it. You know, a year ago, many moon ago, folks would have to find out when they radio program was on and hustle over to that radio box in the living room and gather around it and listen to that thing. I mean, there's something to be said about that. You know, everybody kind of got the same schedule on that, and then you listen at the same time. Then the next day at work, y'all talk about it or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't alive, you know, back in the 1920s, which is 100 years ago now. But I figure, you know, I reckon it'd be like that. Like this way now, folks may say, "Hey, did you listen to that one podcast?" Oh no, I'm 13 weeks behind or whatever. So it's because folks didn't listen to a different time. But I'm telling you, it comes out on a Tuesday. Now, I don't know if you listen to this on the Tuesday it came out or Tuesday 3 years after it came out. But if you listen to today, it's February 13th, which is Valentines Eve. Are y'all putting your chocolate heart-shaped boxes out by the chimney with care tonight in hopes that St. Valentine? I don't know what happens there. I don't know where I'm going with that. So all I know is it's the Valentines. And what that means is in 2 days, there's going to be some marked down candy at the Walmarts. 50% off and all that kind of thing. That's what I know. Well, you get them Valentine cards for real cheap too on the 15th. So something to think about if you and yourn decide, hey, you know what? February 16th is Valentine's Day to us. Boy, you get some deals. That's all I know. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I got to figure out, you know, what I'm doing with cricket. I mean, I know. No, listen, I know. I ain't saying tomorrow's the day and I ain't figured it out yet. I know. We're going to talk about what we did because she actually had to work at the nursing home. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll get on to that in a little bit. I'm Tavin Dillard, mowing, edging, grass cutting legend, and finding other things to do when the weather ain't accommodating for a lawn mowing man. All kind of things. Been doing them greetings for the Valentines. Folks been asking for them. So I have been recording Valentine's greetings. But I mean, record birthday greetings too. Graduation and all that kind of thing, you know. So anyhow, them are personal messages. And somebody's asking this week, how's that work? I'm like, well, you know, you fill out the little form. I'll put a link in the show notes here today. And then you just kind of, who's it for? What's the occasion? And then I can take it from there. I mean, you only need to say Lonnie Jean birthday. And I can take it from there. Or you can give more details. You know, like Lonnie Jean loves the color brown and can't stop eating Frittlers. And I'll work that into the message too, kind of thing. But that's been happening, so that's helping since the lawns are dead. And the other thing is, I told you about the town map. Like I draw the map of the town. Well, I seen the little prototypes this week of, you know, for the giveaway, because the first 100 orders on the town map shirt is getting the town map, just town map. Like it's something you can tack to the wall or use as a placemat, I guess. But they ain't gonna be that big. I mean, if you have a little plate, they smaller than like a, man, I guess they running close to maybe a regular piece of paper, maybe a little smaller than that. And of course, they ain't shaped like a rectangle because our town ain't shaped like a rectangle. So it's got, you know, like it's got different sides and shapes to it, like any town or map would be. So anyhow, I seen that. I'm happy with that. Been in touch with my buddy Ryan over at Rock City Outfitters. They putting together the shirt. Trying to decide on the colors, folks. I think more than one folk. Anyhow, I got it in my head that blue was an option folks wanted. So like a darker blue. We looking at that. I'm also looking at just more like a like an off-white or a light tan, but I don't know how many people like to wear them colored shirts, but it kind of looked more like an old map, and then the map's on it. But anyhow, you can let me know too if you got thoughts on that. Still working on that. But in the show notes, we will have the other stuff like the Crow Funyun shirt and Early Bird Gets the Perm. That might be a popular one for Valentine's, especially the pink and red one. You know, there's 2 different colors to that shirt. But anyhow, that's the show note business. Of course, bacon bouquets I mentioned last week. I mean, a little late to order for Valentine's. Who cares? Nobody mad at late bacon if it shows up, you know, a week later. Like, boy, this is good to eat. So anyhow, Tabin's bacon bag will be there in the thing too. And I mentioned last week, I think I did last week, Wichita Falls, May 31st. There's going to be a big show, Tabin Dillard. And we looking at, well, some fun stuff on that show. So if you in Wichita Falls, Texas, or somewhere near there, North Texas, you know, South Oklahoma, I hope to see you there Friday, May 31st. But I'll have more tickets, sale stuff, and like information probably in the merry month of March on that. So, a lot to check out. A lot to check out. But where were we? What's going on today, Tabin, you may be asking. You might remember that I seen Brody Childress and his squeaky clean Suzuki Sidekick at the burger shed last week, and he told me that him and his wife and their oldest kiddo, BW, was going on mule rides at Chet Dilroy's. And buddy, did they ever. They went on a mule ride. I told y'all last week that me and Cricket was going on a date to Bickham's All-You-Can-Eat Catfish Buffet too. Remember that? And we've been there plenty of times before. It ain't our first time around the old buffet table. What do they call it? It ain't a table. It's just a buffet, right? I don't know. Anyhow, them trays. Bickham's ain't different than a lot of places. Like, you know, any buffet you might go to, you walk in expecting to have some great fried catfish, course, hush puppies, all that. But you always wondering, is the ice cream machine going to work? They do a pretty good job, and Bud's been working on it at the burger shed where he want to have the reputation of, hey, the ice cream machine's working kind of thing. But it ain't always that way at Bickham's. You know, you just don't know. I don't know what it is, but something, it's very elusive. An ice cream machine at McDonald's ain't sorted it out yet. Sometimes I feel like Sonic is wondering too, you know. But anyhow, all I'm saying is that if you can figure out how to make an ice cream machine that don't break out, you know, break down like every third cone, you may be making thousands of dollars. Put it to you like that, if you can come up with that invention. I will say that Travis Darden, he runs the buffet, has really put that ice cream machine on his radar, though. I don't know why it's such a mystery, but it is to most places. And that, like I said, they had their fair share of problems too. But if the machine works fine, what could be the problem? Right? Let's say me and Cricket walked into Bickham's, ice cream machine's working, the buffet is full of all the food we want to eat, the sweet tea is ready to go, ice cold. What could be the problem, you saying? How about people? You know, if the gear's working sometimes, folks can make things complicated. You know about that? I mean, you got something you're going to, you got a fun day planned, and it's going to be maybe at a water park, or maybe some sort of amusement park, or maybe some sort of concert, but then you get there and there's people there. And then people mess it up. They too slow. They fall and trip in front of you. They knock your soda pop out of your hand accidentally, or maybe on purpose. I don't know. County fair's a beautiful thing. Folks get there though, and sometimes it can get complicated. And it wasn't no different on my date with Cricket. Now, I was happy to see the machine working, don't get me wrong. Once we got there, I was happy. Of course, I had plenty to eat, you know, at the buffet. So, I wasn't thinking about getting the ice cream first off. So there is that little thing in the back of my mind, well, what if, you know, it break while I'm eating supper? But I wasn't going to worry about that. You know, why borrow trouble, as they say. There it was. Cricket was sitting across from me. Halfway through sweet tea, told me about this new dog her granddaddy got named Neil. It's a Walker Hound. He named the dog Neil. And she was telling me that he wants to go exploring with me and Neil sometime. Well, I kind of nod because I'm listening, but I ain't sure I want to agree to an adventure with her granddaddy, so I didn't say out loud nothing like, oh, that'd be a good idea. Oh, when can we go? Oh, are you kidding me? What a great thing for me to look forward to. And I didn't say nothing like that. I just, you know, took another sip of sweet tea and nodded like, it was like a I hear you nod. It wasn't like a I'm on board with this plan nod. I've had a few adventures with her granddaddy already, but we having a good time talking when a look grows on Cricket's face like somebody walked into the buffet with a cow on their head. You know, something crazy where it's not something they see every day and they wasn't expecting it, and now all of a sudden we got to deal with that. Well, it wasn't a cow on somebody's head. It's Delma Spencer who walked right into the buffet with about 5 of her kiddos, and every kiddo had a bag. Okay? She ain't paid yet. So I guess that's probably pretty important for you to know at this point in the story. Delma Spencer walked in there with her kiddos. They got bags. She ain't paid yet. One had a brown paper bag. One had like a shopping bag. One little guy had a purse. And Delma had a purse too. And they made a beeline to that ice cream machine. I guess word got out, you know, like, boy, the Bickham's all-you-can-eat Catfish Buffet ice cream machine's working. And Cricket's watching, so I turned to look. And there's Delma Spencer and her kids steady filling up bags and purses and whatnot full of ice cream. I think one of them had a fanny pack. And it's going everywhere. You know how you pull down that little lever on that soft serve, and all of a sudden, boy, if you don't push it back up on its own, it's stuck right there. And it's just on and on and on it goes. And it's hard to time it in a little bowl. Just imagine trying to fill up like a purse or a fanny pack or a brown paper bag. It's getting everywhere. Some's getting in the bag, some ain't. One of them kiddos grabs a fistful of sprinkles and just throws them in the bag too. I mean, it's a mess. It's a mess quick. It ain't one of those like you see it over time, gradual, like, oh, you know, their front porch is getting a little messy. Oh, now they got something else added to it. No, it's like explosion all at once. It's like tornado. Ice cream and sprinkle-nado. Just a mess. Travis Darden, he flies out the kitchen, unplugs the machine. Then he asks Delma to pay. Well, she ain't going to do that. So he confiscates the bags. Now Delma's yelling. Travis Darden's got 2 purses, a fanny pack, a brown paper bag full of ice cream. There's a shopping bag full of ice cream, and he's holding them. He's got ice cream on his hands now. Delma's kiddo's covered in ice cream. One's got hot fudge on his elbow and his arm. And Delma's saying, we ain't going to pay. Give me back my ice cream. She's saying it's her ice cream. This ain't the first time Delma's had ice cream problems in town. You probably know that, but she used to throw her little kiddo's teeth in the freezer section at Rickard's grocery store, little bloody, stubby teeth. Had her kids throw them in there saying that's where the tooth fairy lived, and he'll bring them ice cream. Well, and this is to this day is one of those things I don't think Kevin Rickard made the right call, and I told him to his face. He said, Delma, take them little teeth, get them out of here. I done throwed up in the freezer section, seen them. I dry heaved twice after that, and I had her take them things. And he gave her a gallon of ice cream to go away and never do it again. Boy, you don't pay somebody what they wanted to teach them a lesson. You don't give them what they wanted and they say, well, that was a bad idea. I didn't get what I wanted. I shouldn't do that again, kind of thing. But apparently it worked. I ain't heard. Maybe she's hiding them somewhere else. Maybe he'll come across some bloody teeth in the automotive repair section or something, and then if she wants to deal like on, you know, air fresheners or car wash kits or something like that, maybe that's where she's going next. I don't know, but I'm telling you right now, she's got the ice cream machine steady unplugged at Bickham's All-You-Can-Eat Catfish Buffet. Now, she didn't unplug it, but it's unplugged because of her. And all them little kiddos and they little bags and all this ice cream all over the place. I stand up at this point. I head over there and help escort Delma out of there. And then she yells, they're starving. That's Delma's favorite line. They ain't starving, Delma. And truth be told, fistful of sprinkles wouldn't do the trick if they was. By the time things settled down and me and Cricket was ready for dessert, that ice cream machine was unplugged, y'all guys. Not ready for use. I know. Travis plugged it in, but it wasn't worked. So he had to figure out what to do. He hit on the side of it with a screwdriver. He's working on it like an old TV set where you beat the side of it, try to get the static out. But he's trying to get the gears running again. I don't know. We were so close, y'all. So close to ice cream at Bickham's All-You-Can-Eat Catfish Buffet. But not this time. But I tell you one thing, I didn't worry about it. I told you I parked it. I wasn't going to borrow any trouble. And that way I at least enjoyed the fried okra and the green beans and the hush puppies and the fried catfish and the sweet tea, not worrying about no ice cream machine. I wasn't worried about it till I went up there and seen Delma Spencer. And then I was like, well, there's other places to get ice cream. I just have to get it tonight. Bud's got shakes. Now this week, me and Cricket did an early Valentine's, and that's what I was saying earlier, because she's going to have to work at the nursing home on Valentine's Day at the Valentine Banquet. Nursing home Valentine Banquet. I should have an update on how that went next week. So this week, we did donut goals. Cheryl Groves made a heart-shaped donut, but I went for the cherry frittler. I told you those came out, and although I didn't want to share it, I did share it. and that's probably best for everybody. My mental focus was so sharp the rest of the day, and shoulders felt more loose and free like I had a massage, but I didn't. I had a cherry frittler. I can't explain it all, y'all guys. I can't explain the strength, the haunch strength that happens from the donuts and the frittlers and the cherry frittler specifically, but I sure am trying. So you may be asking, what about this mule ride, Tavin, with the Childresses? Well, BW, he wears cleats everywhere he goes. Who cares, right? Well, when you run on a linoleum floor, you care. Let me tell you that right now. Or you can ask Kevin Rickert, because when BW took a sharp turn down to snack aisle, he ate it so hard, took out an Oreo display. Well, now you causing trouble for other folks. Just like Delma. Like some of these folks, they do things, and they don't think how it's going to affect other people. Like when Delma's throwing bloody stubby teeth, you know Kevin Rickert didn't say, boy, I sure hope to get to work today and throw up in the old freezer section and then have to mop that out and then have, 6, 7 cartons of ice cream I can't sell because I got throwed up on them. That's Delma. She wasn't thinking about that. Kevin wasn't either, but because Delma did that, made a mess for everybody. Well, BW, he's just a little fella. But it's Brody and Brandy Lynn. Boy, you don't want to call him Brody Lynn. Folks have tried that before. Boy, they get in a headlock pretty quick. Brandon Lynn and Brody, they put him in cleats because they pretty affordable and they last longer. Because you just said, they thicker. I mean, that's just basic math right there. If the bottom of your shoes got more room on them for walking, or got more stuff on the bottom of them, the longer it's going to take to wear that stuff down to get to, a hole in your shoe or whatever. So, I mean, that's their call. They want to put their kiddo in cleats because they last longer, but he need to know not to turn down them linoleum floors so fast because them Oreos is everywhere. And you don't really know when you take out a whole display like that how many are broken in there because they ain't got windows. Oreo, they ain't them clear cellophane packs where you can look in and say, okay, there's 2 broken cookies, but then there's mostly none. You don't know, you guessing. You guessing. So I don't know how, that ain't the point of this story, but I am telling you that BW wears cleats. So Brody and Brandy Lynn, they get out to Chet's with BW to do this mule ride. I don't know if BW got a sudden interest in riding mules and being a cowboy, but the little fella was pumped to go mule riding. I do know that much. He's pretty happy about that. I think Brody's granny, that's Mabel. We know her. She was watching a little one. I know she's family, but I wouldn't trust Mabel to watch no family in mine. So anyhow, Chet Dilroy, he's the one running the mule rides, and he's giving them a little safety lesson on what not to do on the mule and all that. Brandy Lynn knows all this stuff, but it's what they call protocol. Protocols when we got to run through this list because it's the right thing to put on the front part of your mind. So it's like maybe you know how to do it, but you need to be thinking about it right now. So we just gonna say it. Put your foot here, swing your leg over there, hold the thing like this away. Don't kick the back of the mule if you ain't ready to go top speed. I don't know, I wasn't there for that part, but I'm just saying they got the protocol. So Chet, he don't stay with them. He just sends them off on a trail. Once they get on them animals, they off on their own. And the mules they follow it. They just follow this trail. They know how it go, and it loops back around to Chet's place. So that's easy enough, right? Once they go through the protocol, they get them on their mules, and then they do, just just mosey on down the path. They ain't trying to win no state records or nothing like that. They ain't trying to get no blue ribbon. You just enjoying a little nice, peaceful afternoon, evening ride kind of thing. Well, Chet gets 3 mules out because BW's going to have his own with little cleats, And then Brandy Lynn's going to get one, and then Brody's going to get one. And they paid real money for this mule ride. Brandy Lynn, she make a beautiful 3-bean salad. Like, I don't know what she do that just make everything. The flavors, the combination. I know, people have been making 3-bean salads for a number of years, but I don't know what she figured out. But all I'm saying is she didn't pay for the mule ride and 3-bean salad, although she could have, if you asking me. But they got all 3 of them on their own mules. So BW climbs up there with his little cleats on. He kind of steps on this thing's back. You're supposed to swing your leg over. You ain't supposed to step on it, like it's a bridge. Instead of just swinging his old Childress leg over the back of this mule, he cleated right on the backbone. And the mule don't like this because it wasn't on the saddle. They got a little saddle thing, but then the saddle don't cover every part of the mule if you know anything about saddles. And that mule, it kick, but at first it holler. You know how they make them donkey noises out their mouth? Well, it did one of them, and then it kicked. And you probably thinking, oh, this thing takes off with little BW and it's a big mess. Well, you got the big mess things right. I'll tell you that. If you're thinking a big mess is about to come, I'm telling you that right now. What you ain't got right is which mule got loose. The one that got loose wasn't the one that little BW cleated in the back. Chet's got 7 mules. Let me put it to you like this. You know, because he's doing a business now out there. So he got 3 mules out. I mean, it's starting to sound like a math lesson. If Chet has 3 mules and takes 3 out for the Childress family, but you know, it ain't like that. So there was 3 out for them. That is true. But once BW's got spooked, a 4th mule bolted out of that fence before Chet could grab it, and it took off. It wasn't even supposed to be part of this party today. It wasn't Brandy Lynn's mule. It wasn't Brody's mule. It wasn't BW's mule. It was another one that was in the fence that got out before Chet got that little gate shut. And it just took off. It got out of there like a bolt of lightning. Just a bolt of lightning down the path. And then them other mules saw it, and they just followed. So now, they ain't following slow, y'all guys. I'll put it to you like that. The race is on. Little George Jones. You think that losing a baby shoe at the bottom of a Suzuki Sidekick is bad? Well, hang on to them cleats, BW, because here we go. Now, them mules is moving at a pretty good clip. They ain't the fastest things, but the one in front of the group that was leading it, boy, he sure could hold his own. Maybe he ain't breaking world records, but he probably breaking county records. And BW is screaming, Mama! And Brandy Land screaming, I'm right behind you. You want to talk about a cowboy adventure? That mule ride that was supposed to take an hour, because they just do. They moseying along a path, just enjoying the scenery, that kind of thing. Took them 9 minutes, y'all guys, on that loop. You heard me. 9 minutes. Chet felt bad. He gave them their money back. He offered to let them take another loop, but they's done. I don't blame them. I know they like BW and them cleats because they last longer, but come on. And just because it wasn't his mule that took off, it's his mule that spooked the other mule that did take off, that led the way, that caused the other 3 that they was on to take off and do that 1 hour loop in 9 minutes. I mean, come on. You got to respect them animals. I really do think there's something to them mule rides that Chet does. I think he on to something. He's just working some stuff out, but he got to get it dialed in. I mean, word get out about this, boy. He got these fast mules. You better pay by the minute. It'll be cheaper, you know, kind of thing. Folks can't be digging cleats into the back of mules' back. I think that's firstlies. So I went back to donut goals for another cherry frittler because, like I said, I tried to share, and I did share it with Cricket, but then I was like, I could probably handle one of them on my own. I think that's fine because in the moment, like I said, I was being thoughtful, but I was ready to go. And I hear the ice cream machine is working now at Bickham's, in case you're in town this week and you're thinking, well, I don't even want to mess with that ice cream machine. I think it's up and running. Word's out about Delma anyhow, so I don't think she's coming back because they got to look out for her. Travis is thinking about moving that whole ice cream machine farther away from the door when you come in, so if Delma Spencer walks in there, they got time to get to her and her kiddos before they pull that lever, you know, so they don't fill up a purse full or a fanny pack full of soft serve. We'll see. I mean, that's all I know. So we had a little date, you know, me and Cricket. I may head down to the nursing home to help with that Valentine banquet here tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. But I hope you sure have a good middle of February. I mean, we talked about this. This is the tiniest month of the year, so, I mean, enjoy it. Eat it up. Hey, I did a live last week on the old Facebook, Instagrams, TikTok live. I may be doing more of that, just to say. I saw y'all guys online and we chatted for a while and, you know, really partied it up on the interweb, getting together. So just put that on your radar. If you ain't on any of them, you may hear about me going live on them again. Maybe need to pick a particular day so that folks know I'm on there. But we'll see. We'll see. Just keep an eye out. Check them show notes today for the bacon, the personal greetings, and the merch. You'll see all that there. I sure am glad you joined me this week on a podcast full of soft serve, mule rides, and a cherry frittler or two. Technically, I had 1.5, so that's pretty good. Be sure to leave me a comment, share the podcast, even rate it too. Check them show notes again for all everything and anything that's going on. And hey, if you ain't tried to fill a purse up with soft serve at Bickham's All You Can Eat Catfish Buffet this week, you having a pretty good week. Me, I'm Tavin Dillard. This is a Tavin Dillard podcast. Till next time, y'all guys. We'll see you later.